Hello everyone, this is your English class and you are welcome to the second session of the chapter number 11th, If I Were You. So now let's continue this chapter from page number 142. I'm okay. I have got a reason for everything. I'm going to be Vincent Charles Gerard. See, I have got to know what he talks like. Now I know. Now he says that he was okay and there was a reason behind it. He was going to become Vincent Charles Gerard and he knew everything about him. He knew how he talked. That posh stuff comes easy. Posh means rich or showy, as he was the richest one, and he knew, and he says that he has known, he has come to know about Gerard everything, and he has know how he talks, as he was a rich one, and this rich stuff comes very easily. This is Mr. V.C. Gerard speaking. Pantomime of fawning in imitation cultured voice. As he had now heard Mr. Vincent Charles Gerard talking on the phone. Now he starts pantomiming. Pantomiming means copying him, imitating him. And that's not all. He stands up. Get up a minute, Gerard stands. Now take a look at me. Now he tells him this is not all. Everything of his resembles to Mr. V.C. Gerard. And then he tells him to stand up and then have a look at him. Gerard, you are not particularly decorative, but he says that you are not acting very properly as it was not very much attractive. Intruder, no, well, that goes for you too, but it is all because of you because your behavior is like that. I have only got to wear specs and I'll be enough like you to get away with it. Now, there is only one thing that he had to wear, that is when he would wear the specs, then he would surely look like him. He would become V.C. Gerard. Gerard, what about your clothes? They will let you down if you are not careful. Then Gerard says that ask him about his question about his clothes, and he says that everybody would come to know that you are not Mr. Gerard and you would be put in the trouble. Intruder, that will be all right. Yours will fit me fine. But he has a ready answer. He says that his clothes will fit him very finely. Gerard, that is extremely interesting, but you seem to miss a point of my remark. Here Gerard says, it seems very much interesting that you are acting just like me, you look like me, you resemble me, but there is one thing you are still missing, that is my point of my remark. I said, you are luckier than most melodramatic villains. Now, earlier he had told him that he was luckier than the most melodramatic villains. It was not a tribute to your intelligence. Now, he says that I had given you this remark, but this remark was not a tribute to your intelligence. I was not praising your intelligence. I was not showing any gratitude. You won't kill me for a very good reason, but there is a reason. That's why you would not kill me. Intruder. So that's what you think, Gerard. You will let me go, and thank God you didn't shoot sooner. And now he is thankful to the God that he had not shot him till this moment, as he says him that he would let him go. Come on, what's on your mind? Better be quick. This conversation bores me. Now intruder then tells him that whatever you want to say, whatever is in your mind, please tell me quickly, because this conversation is boring him very much, as it has become a long conversation. Gerard, your idea is to elude the police. Elude means to escape by killing me and taking on my identity. Then Gerard says that your idea is to escape the police. You want to kill me. After killing me, you will escape the police and you will take my identity. Intruder, yes, I like the idea. And also he confirms the plan, that he has surely this plan, he would kill him and then he would take his identity. Gerard, but are you sure it's going to help you? Again, he puts him question if he was very much sure this idea would help him. Intruder, now listen here. I have got this all planned. I did a job in town Things went wrong and I killed a cop. Since then, I have done nothing but dodge. Dodge means here he has been still avoiding the police, he is on the run. Now he says that he has got this planned. He had done job in town and then something went wrong with him. He killed a police officer and since then he is running away from the police. He is escaping the police. He is avoiding the police. Gerard. And this is where dodging has brought you. And this is the place, this is my house where your running has brought you. Intruder. It brought me to Aylesbury. But he says it had brought him to Aylesbury. That's where I saw you in the car. It was the place where he had seen him for the first time in the car. Two other people saw you and started to talk. I listened. It looks like you are a bit queer, kind of a mystery man. Then I found that two other people were talking to you and I had heard your conversation and it seemed to me that you are a little bit strange person and you are a kind of a mystery man person. A mystery which I propose to explain. Now he says that here really there is a secret, there is a mystery and I want to explain to you. Intruder disregarding him, but he doesn't listen to him properly. He disregards him. You phone your orders and sometimes you go away suddenly and come back just the same. He is not interested in hearing the mystery, the secret of Gerard, but he keeps on saying that he orders on the phone and sometimes he goes away suddenly and comes back very quickly at the same moment. Those are just the things I want to do. Hearing about you was one of my luckiest breaks. Now he says that those are just the things I want to do. He also wants to act just like Gerard. As he goes out of the house very quickly and comes back, and in the same way he also wants to act like him. And hearing about Gerard was one of his luckiest breaks. Gerard, apparently you haven't the intelligence to ask why I am invested in this cloak of mystery. Now, he says that clearly you have not intelligence to ask. As you are not so intelligent, you are not asking me why I am invested in, why I have taken up this cloak of mystery, this dress of mystery. The cloak means robe, dress that he was wearing. Intruder, preparing to shoot. As I said before, this conversation bores me. Now he is ready to shoot Gerard and then he says that your conversation is boring me. Gerard, don't be a fool. If you shoot, you will hang for sure. If not as yourself, then as Vincent Charles Gerard. Gerard tells him that don't be a fool, not to act foolishly. Then he says him that if you shoot me, you will surely be hung by the police. You will be punished. Then you would not be hung as yourself, but you would be hung just as Vincent Charles Gerard. Intruder, what is this? Now he got shocked after hearing these words and wanted to know why he was saying such words, that if he would not be hung just like Intruder, but he would be hung as Vincent Charles Gerard. Gerard, this is your big surprise. I said you wouldn't kill me and I was right. Now Gerard says, this is your big surprise. You would not kill me and I was right in saying so. Why do you think I am here today and gone tomorrow? Never see tradespeople. You say my habits would suit you. You are a crook. Do you think I am a Sunday school teacher? Sunday school teacher means now he is comparing himself as with a school teacher, means as an honest man. Now he says him that, do you think that what is the reason why do I not meet often the tradespeople and I am an honest man? But your thinking is wrong. The game is up. As far as I am concerned, things went wrong with me. I said it with bullets and got away. Now he tells about himself that the things had gone wrong with him and he also gave the answer with a gun. He also had murdered someone. Unfortunately, they got one of my men. Now he says that they means here the police. The police officers caught one of his men, one of his accomplice, who was partner in the murder, partner in doing bad things, and found things the fool should have burnt. And they got the evidences against me because one of my accomplice had told the police officer everything. Tonight I am expecting trouble. My bag is packed, ready to clear off. There it is. Now he says that tonight he was in trouble. He was expecting that he would be in trouble in the night, and that's why he has packed his bag that is ready, and now he would run away from here. Intruder. It's a bag, all right. And this is a gun, all right. What's all this? Now he says, yes, surely here is a bag and here is a gun also. But what is all that? Now something more was kept in nearby the bag. Gerard. That's a disguise outfit. False mustache and whatnot. Now do you believe me? Now he says that this is an outfit that would hide my identity, including false mustaches and whatnot. And now he inquires from the intruder if he was believing him, if he was trusting him. Intruder musingly, I don't know. Still, he was in deep thoughts, and he was not very much sure that he believed him or not. Gerard, for God's sake, clear that muddled head of yours. Muddled means confused head. And let's go. Now, he tells him to remove the confusion from the mind and they should go now. Come with me in the car, I can use you. If you find it's a frame, you have got me in the car and you have still got your gun. Frame means false. And now he tells him to go with him in the car. And also he says that if you find that I am false, I am not seeing everything all right, then we both will be together in the car and you also have gun with you. You can shoot me. Intruder, maybe you are right, Gerard. Then don't waste time. Goes and pick up hat and bag. Then Gerard tells him to do hurry, not to waste the time, and then he goes and picks up his hat and bag. Intruder, careful boss, I am watching you. Gerard, I have got a man posted on the main road. Then intruder says to be very careful and also calls him just a boss and tells him that he was watching him. Then Gerard says that he had got a man posted on the main road. Means one of his accomplices was standing on the main road. He will ring up if he sees the police. And also he says that whenever he would see the police, he would ring us, he would call us. But I don't want to leave. Telephone bell rings, but he says he didn't want to leave, but at the same time telephone bell rings. Come on, they are after us, through here straight to the garage. Then he says that then they have to run from there very quickly because police is after them. And also he points towards the place where he says that through here we will be straight go to the garage. Intruder, how do I know that you are telling the truth? He is still doubtful and again says that how I can know that you are telling the truth. Gerard, oh, don't be a fool, look for yourself. Then he says not to be a fool, not to become foolish, and look for himself. Then Gerard opens the door and steps away. Intruder leans forward to inspect it with his side towards Gerard, but with the revolver ready. Now Gerard opens the door and he moves ahead. Intruder, he also leans forward. He wants to inspect everything if it is alright, if they are really going towards the garage. Then on one side is Gerard and to the another side is Intruder. He wants to see outside as he was leaning forward, and also he has revolver ready in his hand. As he turns his head, Gerard gives him a push into the cupboard, knocking the revolver out of his hand. But as the intruder turns his head, Gerard gives him a push into the cupboard and knocking that revolver out of his hand. Actually, this was not a doorway to the garage, it was a cupboard. When he leans forward, Gerard gives him a push into the cupboard and his revolver is thrown out of the hand. He slams the door and locks it, picks up the revolver and goes to the phone. Again, he shuts the door, locks the door and picks up the revolver and goes to the phone as the telephone was ringing. Where he stands with the gun pointed at the cupboard door. And he was standing near a telephone, but he was also having the gun in the hand and he was pointing at the cupboard door as he was afraid that intruder may come out of the cupboard. Intruder rattles door and shouts, let me out of here. Then intruder starts rattling the door. He shouts and he wanted to be freed out of the cupboard. Gerard, hello, yes. Speaking, sorry, I can't let you have the props in time for rehearsal. Props means things that are used by the actors to change the appearance. Then there is conversation on the phone, and he tells to the person with whom he is talking, he says that he would be late as he would not uh, arrange the things on the time for the rehearsal. I have had a spot of bother. As spot of bother means he was in trouble, quite amusing. But this was a very quite amusing trouble. I think I'll put it in my next play. As I had already told you that he was a playwright, he writes the plays, and now he says that this incident he will write in his next play. Listen, can you tell our friend the sergeant to come up here at once? Then he tells to the person with whom he is talking, he says him that he had to call to sergeant to his place. You will probably find him in the police bar, and also he says that the sergeant would be found in the public bar. So now at last he was successful in saving his life from the intruder. So students, the play is complete now, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Okay students, goodbye and have a nice day.